Hello everyone and welcome back to Untold Pain Stories, the channel where you improve your English through emotional, dramatic and unforgettable stories. Today's story is about love, judgment, sacrifice, and a woman whose past made everyone reject her, except one man. My name is Ethan, and this story changed my life forever. 3 years ago, I moved to a new city after getting a job at a small marketing company. I was 28 years old, single and focused entirely on my career. At that time, I believed love only complicated life. I worked long hours, rarely socialized, and spent most evenings alone in my apartment. Everything seemed predictable. Then one ordinary afternoon changed everything. It happened in a small coffee shop near my office. I was waiting for my order when I noticed a woman sitting alone near the window. She looked tired, not physically tired, emotionally tired. Beside her sat a little boy, probably 5 years old. The child was smiling and drawing pictures on a napkin, while the woman stared silently out the window. Something about her caught my attention. She wasn't dressed expensively. She wasn't trying to attract attention. Yet there was something beautiful about her quiet strength. A few minutes later, the little boy accidentally dropped his crayons. They rolled across the floor. I bent down and helped collect them. The boy smiled. "Thank you, mister." His mother looked up. For the first time, our eyes met. "Thank you," she said softly. Her voice was warm but carried sadness. I smiled. "No problem." Then I left. I thought that would be the end of it. But life had different plans. The following week I saw them again. The same coffee shop. The same little boy. The same woman. This time the boy recognized me. "Mom, that's the crayon guy." I laughed. The woman laughed too. And somehow, that simple moment started a conversation. Her name was Emma. The little boy was Noah. Over the next few weeks, we continued seeing each other. Sometimes we exchanged greetings. Sometimes we talked for a few minutes. Gradually, those few minutes became longer conversations. I learned that Emma was a single mother. Her husband had left when Noah was only 2 years old. Since then, she had raised her son completely alone. She worked 2 jobs just to pay rent and provide a good life for Noah. Despite all her struggles, she never complained. She simply kept moving forward. The more I learned about her, the more I admired her. One evening, while we were talking outside the coffee shop, Noah suddenly asked me, "Do you have kids?" I smiled. "No." He looked disappointed. "That's sad." Emma immediately apologized. "I'm so sorry." I laughed. "It's okay." Then Noah said something that made both of us freeze. "You should join our family." Emma turned bright red. I couldn't stop laughing. But deep inside, I couldn't stop thinking about those words. Weeks passed, then months. Soon, Emma became the person I looked forward to seeing every day. A message from her could instantly improve my mood. A smile from her could make a difficult day feel easier. Without realizing it, I was falling in love. But there was a problem. Actually, several problems. She was a single mother. Many people judged women in her situation. Some believed dating a single mother was a mistake. Others thought a man should avoid responsibility for another person's child. Even some of my friends warned me. One evening, I told my best friend Ryan about Emma. His reaction disappointed me. "A single mother?" he asked. "Yeah," he shook his head. "You're making a huge mistake." "Why?" "Too much baggage." I hated that word. Baggage. As if Emma wasn't a human being. As if her entire value could be reduced to her past. I didn't argue, but his words stayed in my mind. For days, I wondered if everyone would think the same way. Then something happened that changed everything. One rainy evening, I received a call from Emma. She sounded exhausted. "Ethan, I'm sorry to bother you." "What's wrong?" "Noah is sick." I immediately drove to her apartment. When I arrived, I found Emma sitting beside Noah's bed. The little boy had a high fever. Emma looked terrified. She had barely slept. For hours, we stayed together caring for Noah. Eventually, his fever began to drop. Emma finally relaxed. Then, unexpectedly, she started crying. Not loudly, just quiet tears. Months of stress and exhaustion finally breaking through. "I don't know how much longer I can do this alone," she whispered. Without thinking, I held her hand. "You don't have to do everything alone." For several seconds, neither of us spoke. Then she squeezed my hand. That night changed our relationship forever. A week later, I asked her to dinner. Not as friends, as something more. She looked nervous, very nervous. "Ethan," she said softly, "before you do this, you need to understand something." "What?" "My life isn't simple." "I know. I have responsibilities." "I know. I come with complications." I looked directly into her eyes. "No, Emma." She frowned. "What?" "You come with Noah." A smile slowly appeared on her face. And for the first time, I saw hope. Our relationship officially began that night. The following months were some of the happiest of my life. We went on simple dates, walked through parks, watched movies, shared dreams. But the best moments were always with Noah. He quickly became attached to me. One Saturday, we spent the entire day building a toy airplane together. When we finished, he looked proudly at his creation. Then he looked at me. "Can I tell you a secret?" "Sure," he whispered. "I hope you never leave." Those words hit me harder than anything else. Because suddenly I understood. Loving Emma wasn't only about loving her. It meant becoming someone Noah could trust. Someone he could depend on. And that responsibility mattered. Months later, I invited Emma to a family gathering. I was nervous. Very nervous. Some relatives welcomed her warmly. Others didn't. One aunt pulled me aside. "She's nice," she said. "But are you sure?" I knew exactly what she meant. She wasn't questioning Emma's character. She was questioning her past. I looked at my aunt and replied, "I've never been more sure about anything. For the first time in my life, I stopped caring about other people's opinions. Because they didn't know Emma. They didn't see her sacrifices. They didn't see her strength. They didn't see the incredible mother she was. I did." As time passed, our relationship grew stronger. But life wasn't finished testing us. One evening, Emma received a call. It was Noah's biological father, the man who had disappeared years ago. Suddenly he wanted to be involved again. Emma was furious, confused, scared. Most of all, she worried about Noah. The situation became messy. Lawyers became involved. Old wounds reopened. Stress returned. For months, our lives felt chaotic. Several times I wondered if we would survive it, that every challenge brought us closer. Instead of running away, we faced problems together. Instead of giving up, we fought harder. And slowly things improved. One afternoon, after a long legal battle, Emma finally received good news. She would maintain full custody of Noah. The nightmare was over. That evening, we celebrated with pizza and ice cream. Nothing fancy, just happiness. Pure happiness. As we sat together, Noah suddenly stood up. "I have an announcement." Emma and I laughed. "What is it?" I asked. He looked at me seriously. "When you marry my mom, can I help at the wedding?" The room became completely silent. Emma stared at him. I stared at him. Then Noah smiled. "What?" We all burst into laughter. But inside my heart, something had changed. Because for the first time, I realized I didn't just want a future with Emma. I wanted a family with her. Several months later, I took Emma to the place where we first met. The little coffee shop near the window. The place where everything began. She smiled immediately. I knew this place looked familiar. I laughed nervously. Then I reached into my pocket. Her eyes widened. "Ethan." I got down on one knee. People around us stopped talking. The entire coffee shop seemed to freeze. "Emma," I said, my voice shaking, "you taught me that love isn't about perfection." Tears filled her eyes. "You taught me that strength can be quiet." She covered her mouth. "You taught me that family isn't defined by the past." By then, she was crying openly. "I don't just love you." I held out the ring. "I love the life we've built together." Then I smiled. "So, Emma, will you marry me?" She nodded before I even finished. "Yes." Then louder. "Yes." The entire coffee shop erupted in applause. People cheered. Strangers smiled. And for a moment, the world felt perfect. 1 year later, we got married. It wasn't a luxurious wedding. It wasn't expensive, but it was beautiful. As Emma walked toward me, I couldn't stop smiling. And when I looked beside her, I saw Noah carrying the rings. He looked incredibly proud. After the ceremony, he ran toward me. "Guess what?" "What?" "You officially joined our family." I laughed and hugged him tightly. Best decision I ever made. Today, when I look back at everything that happened, I realized something important. Many people judged Emma before they knew her. Many people saw a single mother. I saw a brave woman. Many people saw responsibility. I saw love. Many people saw complications. I saw a future. And that future became the greatest gift of my life. Sometimes the person everyone overlooks becomes the person who changes your entire world. Sometimes love arrives when you least expect it. And sometimes the family you choose becomes more important than anything else. Thank you for listening to Untold Pain Stories. If you enjoyed this emotional story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more interesting, emotional, and unforgettable English learning stories. See you in the next story.